Mark Morton's been in the news lately. Not for anything bad. He's well, we don't know that yet. I won't say that. Is that defamation? Anyway, let's try it again. Mark Morton's been in the news lately. He just announced his new signature with Gibson, a limited run of, I believe, 300 guitars. So if you're an individual who picks up one of those, happy day for you. But it made me realize I don't know any Lamb of God. So we're here now. Slating. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Major in Metal, where we talk about guitars and metal and things of that nature. This week, we're going to be looking at what I believe to be the definitive band of the new wave of American heavy metal, Lamb of God. Monster catalog, dudes write monster riffs, but I realized I didn't know any of it. So today it's going to be a little bit different. Lamb of God's not really known for ripping and shredding solos, you know? Like, no shade to Will Adler or Mark Morton, that's just not how they play the instrument. But they are masters of crafting just straight up, farm-to-table, heavy riffs. Just straight, organic, free-range metal riffs. So the song we're going to be looking at is 512. I'm usually not one for lyrics or stories behind songs, but if you don't know the story behind this song, look it up. It's actually really cool, and it's really a testament to how great of a storyteller Randy Blythe is. So, shout out to all the guys, obviously, for making a heavy track, but I think Randy's performance and lyrics, believe it or not, if you're going to hear me actually say that, really take this song to the next level. That's enough about that, man. Let's go ahead and jump into the DAW and see what we can make happen here. All right, so we're in the DAW here now. As usual, I have my bass already pre-recorded. I have my drums made up. Went through and edited it a little bit. Little things. Not a lot. Basically, just worried about the kick drum. Making sure, trying to emulate 2 feet whenever necessary. Little stuff like that. On this one, there is a solo in this song, but I really don't feel it's the main attraction of the song. So we are going to record it and talk about it and play through it. But I think we're probably just going to go through and maybe just do the whole song generally. Just because this song is just so many great riffs. Admittedly, there's nothing in this song that's just completely unheard of. But I think it goes to show how good songwriting will shine through, even if the riffs aren't super insane or the most crazy riff you ever heard. Just well performed and well produced riffs are going to shine every time. So we'll look at this intro here. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to do the rhythm guitars first. We'll come back. We'll kind of do both at the same time, but we're going to start with the rhythm guitars, get those in. Song starts off with this top line melody, just kind of repeating over and over. It's nice. You got a perfect fifth right here. But then you have that minor second in between these two notes, so you get that real strong dissonance there. Just absolutely disgusting. But we'll get that tracked. I know I said we're going to do other parts. You know what, man, whatever. This is my show. If I want to jump around and do things in a stupid order, I can do that. So, you guys, we're starting with the lead. Lamb of God is not the first band to weaponize minor seconds, but it sure sounds cool when they do it. So we got our intro dissonant recorded there. One thing I forgot to mention, it does change slightly. Your first time, you have your, there's minor 6 perfect fifth down to your root. However, on the second time, or I guess the second variation of it, it has perfect fifth, got your tritone there, and then you have your root. It really just moves the top 2 notes down because you're really just playing. But you spread it out a little bit, let things ring out. There you go. Let's get some rhythm guitars recorded here. Because this is Lamb of God, I don't know if they quad track it, but I'm going to quad track it just to make it as heavy and thick as it needs to be. Pause. A simple intro gets the job done. One thing that is cool, a On the first chord, you just have a D minor. Honestly, I don't know if it's actually a D minor. I don't know if you're really emphasizing that F there. For the record, I should mention this now. This song is tuned down a half step. That's why I'm using my LTD today. This guitar, it's set up for the tuning, so it's like, well, might as well use it. When I say things like D minor, I am talking in as if the guitar was in standard tuning. So if you're trying to follow along with your own guitar, just keep that in mind. So when I said we start with the D minor, it's really a C sharp minor, but that's okay. I won't tell if you won't. That being said, I don't know if the song actually opens on a D minor or just an open D5 kind of deal, but I do know on the second chord, we have that suspension there. Yeah. Just a little more dissonance, a little more color in here, which I think is a good choice. Otherwise, you just have... It's like we can do a little more than that. All right, so we got our guitarist quad tracked here. I just want to take this moment to really just show how important it is to at least double track your guitars. If you are an aspiring producer or just a bedroom guitarist like myself, it cannot be stated just how much bigger it's going to make your track sound, you know? Especially, and I'm really not using all that much gain on here, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So we'll get this solo down to one guitar. Not nearly the same, but if we throw in the other guitars, we play it 4 times, this is what you end up with. Night and day difference. Huge. Sick. And that's even without a mastering chain on there. Just for fun, I'm going to throw the mastering chain on, and it just gets even bigger. Just sounds killer, man. So we get into the verse here. It's really nothing super crazy. It's a couple gallops, some notes, gallop, gallop, more notes. One thing I do want to point out though is that the entire verse is only done on the low string. It's not all power chords. I think that's a really good choice because, you know, a lot of people will just, especially in rock and metal, will instantly gravitate towards doing everything as a power chord. But if you're constantly, if this is your big moment, you've already came out the gate. You can't get any bigger than that. So I think it's really, really important to just craft your riffs using single notes occasionally. Because when you do use the power chords, it makes it that much more impactful. Right, so we got our rhythm guitars tracked there. So after that verse, we get into this post-verse riff, but it's actually the chorus just not performed at the full length or with the chorus vocals over it. Kind of a cool way to break up the song in a way you might not realize, because honestly, I've been a fan of this song for a while, but it never dawned on me that riff was the chorus riff. But what they're doing here, it's a pretty standard, straightforward, you know, new wave American heavy metal chorus. You got your root, D minor, go up to your 6, B flat, down to your 4, G minor. I'll make an argument that it does resolve to the 5, your A. I can't quite prove that. Listening to the riff, you can hear the chord change under it. But either way, we'll go ahead and get this riff tracked real quick. That chorus is a lot harder to keep tight than I expected. So because of that, we are just going to copy and paste this as needed. Sorry to disappoint anybody who thought we were going to go riff by riff. We're not. And what's funny is at this point, we have like 40% of the song right here. So we're going to fly through this. All right, so now we're at the pre-chorus here. This might be my favorite riff. That's not true. I'm not going to finish that statement. Let's just record it. Remember what I was talking about earlier about how if you use power chords all the time when you don't have anywhere to go? This is a great example. Everything before this was all single note kind of riffy stuff, but then when you slam on your power chords, it just makes it that much more impactful. Look at that. Lessons in real time. What's kind of cool about this pre-chorus, modulating for the choruses or for the pre-chorus is nothing new. That's a trick as old as time. They do it the same way that Metallica is very common in doing it, in that they just go up a step. Notable examples, Enter Sandman, the pre-chorus goes up to F sharp. Ride the Lightning, they do the same thing. They bring the riff up a step. Creeping Death, they do it. They do it a lot. Master of Puppets does it as well. Like, it is all over Metallica's music. But we have the same thing here. I'm not as familiar with Lamb of God's catalog to say like, oh, they do this all the time. I can't speak to it. But they did it here. So that brings us back to our chorus, which is already, we're just going to copy and paste. So there is one thing that I do want to point out in this chorus. There's some kind of sound in the background. If I had to guess, it's some kind of synth, just almost not quite droning in the background, but something playing in the background. I don't know if Lamb of God uses like auxiliary instruments in their recordings or if they keep it pretty true to what you're going to see on stage. So what we're going to do is we're just going to play it as octave chords and we'll just sit it right behind the guitars in there. And you'll notice how much more it fills the sound out. So this is without. Then when I get it recorded, we'll throw it in there and you will see just how much of a difference this really makes. So what we'll do is we'll play the track, we'll kick it on and off, you'll hear it in there. It's such an easy idea. It just adds so much depth, you know? Out. But you're really missing a whole lot without that being there. All right, so through the magic of copy and pasting and video editing, we are now at the solo. The riff behind it's actually pretty challenging. It's like a something like that. Lamb of God is definitely really proficient at writing riffs that don't quite sit under your fingers. And I don't know how they keep doing it, but they manage to do it every time. Either way, let's get this recorded and then we'll start taking a look at the solo here. All right, so now that most of the song is copied and pasted and put in position, let's take a look at this solo here. It's really nothing too crazy. It's all D minor and D minor and D minor pentatonic, and a little bit of D blues thrown in there. The opening lick is kind of cool though. It's like this this tapping lick that just outlines a D sus4. There's also, I have a slight filter applied to the lead tone. I'm not going to set up a wah pedal for this. So it's kind of acting as like an auto wah a little bit. It's not perfect, but for what we're doing here, you'll get the gist. But that opening lick there, it's just, I don't know if it's tapped. That's how I'm going to do it. I did not do proper research for this, sorry. All it is just outlining that D sus4. So you get a nice suspension over it, which, I mean, if you look at the riff going on underneath, it has nothing to do with that whatsoever. They're just both in D at this point. But let's get it recorded. So after we start with our little tappy lick there, we just go into a little bit of a scale run. Kind of invokes D melodic minor a little bit, in that it's slightly different on the ascension and when it descends. I don't know if that was the intent, but it sounds cool. So let's get it recorded. Went a little further than I initially anticipated, but it was going decent enough, so I'm like, well, let's just let it keep riding. So what you have after your scale there, you just get like a nice kind of a bluesy little bend here. Then a minor pentatonic run. Extends out to make it a blues scale right there. Then minor pentatonic on your way back up. This auto wah is not auto wahing enough for my taste. So after you have your two big bends there, that you have a more minor pentatonic. Something that kind of invokes that sound. It's all minor pentatonic, but you go down to the very go down to your A string for the last part of this solo. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's just primarily minor pentatonic is the big thing. I think that'll do it for this one. And that'll wrap it up for this week, man. Like I said, the solo on this one, there's nothing super crazy. We kind of just stay in that minor pentatonic box for most of the time, but it's really well performed and actually more challenging than you might think it is. This one, I struggle with it a little bit. It's going to be hard to get this one actually recorded and put out there. But if you like these kind of videos, man, you know, like, comment, share, all that. If you want to see some songs, leave a suggestion, you know. What am I going to say? No? Maybe. I don't know. That's been the video. This is Major in Metal, where we major in metal, and we'll see you next time. Peace.